What is up guys, Speed here, and today we're going to be looking at a 33 replay. He is a top tier offlaner. I'm sure a lot of you guys know him because he recently played on OG as a stand-in. He was actually their mid laner for quite a bit, but he's generally an offlaner. I'm sure a lot of you of course know who he is. I mean, the Dota community is so, it's so developed that I'm sure when I say these players' names, everyone knows who he is. What we're going to be focusing on today is Necrophos. I'm going to be talking about this hero, my thoughts on the hero, because it is a high win rate hero right now. 52% on average. It's relatively high picked, and I think it's pretty strong right now, especially in pubs, because it's one of those offlaners and heroes that is very self-reliant. Its laning stage is pretty reliable, I would say. It can lose in certain matchups, which I'm going to talk about, but yeah, let's talk about Necro and really make sure we can understand the strengths and weaknesses of this hero. And as per usual, like the video and subscribe to help our channel grow. Just clicking the like button down below really does help out a ton. I know I say that a lot because it's the truth, and I'll probably keep saying it in every single video, so I hope you guys don't mind too much, but yeah, let's get into the video. And on top of that, the second thing I want to mention is I really like Beastmaster Jungle. The reason why I'm telling you I like Beastmaster Jungle, and the reason why this is important, is because recently I did a replay analysis of how to play Beastmaster Jungle. Now, it was a bizarre game where I was dying over and over again, and you might be like, Speed, isn't that embarrassing? Why would you post that on the gameleap website that you can easily access by clicking the link in the description down below? Well, the reason is because I really just love the fact that you can make different things work in Dota as long as you have the right concepts. You can die over and over again, but if you have the right intent and the right strategy behind it, you can make these weird strategies work, and I really think that's my favorite part about Dota. So yeah, I made a video on it. I recommend you guys check it out, and hopefully I'll see you there if you click the link in the description. Alright, getting right into it. We're going to be looking at his starting items to start. Wow, that's very cool. But the main thing we want to see here is the fact that he has a stick and 2 fairy fires, which might seem weird, also not a lot of regen. And the reason why I like this is Necrophos has 2 main problems early on. It is hard to last it with this hero because he has very bad damage. That is why you take your Q at level 1, which is something I'm going to delve into in a second, because a lot of people take the E and it's absolutely awful in 99% of cases, in my opinion. But also, he has 2 fairy fires to deal with the damage, right? Giving him quite a bit of extra damage. I actually think it's a bug here. That doesn't say +4, but he also has a stick. Why is the stick good here? Stick is not always a starting item on Necro. Please do not buy stick every game. However, stick is a great Necro item. In this game, he's against PA, who takes Stifling Dagger and spams it, and he's against a Lich, who spams Frost Blast. Therefore, it is a good stick lane. It is a heavy stick lane. Do not buy stick against, like, I don't know, Terrorblade and Ancient Apparition. While it's not bad, you're not going to get that many charges, and it's not valuable. I would much rather see you have more Tangos, Branches, or a Sal. Getting right into it, you have to take your Q level 1, because if you do not, you actually can lose the lane very easily. Guys, I'm going to make myself very clear here. Necrophos is not necessarily that strong at level 1. If you take your E, I actually think you're one of the weakest heroes at level 1. I'm serious. A lot of people might think I'm crazy for saying this. No, Necro is actually quite weak at level 1 if you have your E. The reason is because a lot of people, they see Necro and they're like, I'm thinking about the Necro in the mid game who's super tanky, almost impossible to kill. I lose all my health when trying to kill him, and therefore, he must always be like that. But that's not the case. It's the same thing as a hero like Monkey King at level 1, where you're pretty low armor, 3, not terrible, 3 is okay. You won't have a spell that does damage to the opponent. The E does very little early on. And most importantly, you're slow. Necro has 280 movement speed. That is some of the lowest movement speed in Dota. And because of that, you're just kind of easy to kill. If you get tri-lane against, you can just bully Necro. I'm serious. Just try tri-laning a Necro and going on him. You'll kill him level 1 every single time if he has Heartstopper Aura extremely easily. So yeah, getting into the lane, you're going to want to do basically one simple thing. You're going to want to use your Q to secure CS as much as possible, and that's about it. Necrophos comes online later on. So you do not actually want to go hard and lose all your regen early on. I mean, you want to commit your regen and what you have. You're going to see that he's constantly eating tangos, so he is not in kill range. But for the most part, he's just going to be last hitting and staying back. If someone overextends, he'll hit them. But really, overall, what you're doing as this hero is staying back, chilling, and securing contested CS with your Q. I do want to note that right off the bat here, he actually dies, but it's very, very important to note that he spams his fairy fires, almost gets another Q off, and potentially would have been able to turn the fight, or at least come close to doing that. Now, why is this important? Why is what he just did important? The fact that he was constantly spamming his Q and didn't have his E at level 1. Because now, even though he died, right, because high MMR players, they're going to try to kill you if they can, and Lich PA is it's a relatively aggressive lane. Really, the Lich is what completes it. Now, because he comes back and buys a stat efficient item, he can bully the lane. Now, a lot of people think dying is a bad thing in Dota. Dying is a bad thing, specifically if you don't get anything out of the death, if you don't trade off the death. Necrophos can actually win a lane because of dying. Believe it or not, guys, you can win your lane off of a death. Now, this is a weird concept, but I want you to take a look at what happens now after he died. He's going to start denying the majority of the creeps. He's not going to go over aggressive, right? He's not going to chase the 200 PA HP back to the tower like 80% of players would, maybe even more. He's going to simply static the lane, keep it back, and deny every single creep he can. And this is how you dominate the lane. She steps up, hits him, okay, she runs away, back up, reset. And you do this over and over and over again. And now that they've killed him, they're out of resources. This PA is stuck. She has tangos, but that's not good enough, right? The tangos are just simply not good enough to keep you full HP. The second thing I want to mention is that he actually isn't skilling his E. Now, a lot of people are going to say 33, this guy must be a bot. Like, how do you not skill your E on Necro? It's because if you do skill your E and you get gone on by high tier opponents, you will die over and over and over again. And if he dies with no teleport scroll up, he can lose the game. That would end the game for him, guys. Keep that in mind. If you die twice in a row in the laning stage, that is when it becomes bad, right? You do not want to die twice in a row. Dying once is generally okay, but look, he gets gone on here. He understands that they're going to go aggressive. Leads it off with his Q, right? Prepping it up, eats a tango to make sure he can heal, understands that Lich is coming to his creep wave, and he can man up. So the PA goes on him, clicks another Q, and now I want to ask you a question. Would he die here if he doesn't have his W? I would argue there's a chance. The Lich has another spell coming up in 2 seconds, and he would potentially die. But instead, he's able to pop his stick with the Ghost Shroud, heal up by around 250 health, as well as his Fiery Fire, which he actually clicked a bit late, and he's able to get a pretty decent trade, right? That wasn't bad. The alternative is dying, with very low HP and not too good of a trade. That's not what you want. And I really just hope this opens up your guys' eyes to kind of the idea of Necrophos. The goal of this hero is to sustain until the later levels, and then you can start going hard. If it's a very, very easy matchup, or like the support can't bully you like a Lich can, you can get pretty aggressive and take your E, right? I'm not saying never take your E. I'm just saying that you guys have to understand that this hero has weaknesses. And the reason why I'm really stressing this, because I know a lot of you guys who watch this video or are watching right now are not going to go play Necro right away. You're probably not going to spam Necro, but you actually might learn how to deal with Necro from watching this video. And hopefully if you guys, get to a higher level at some point, you're going to understand this concept. And if you do play Necro in that case, you'll understand that, hey, players can kill you. I need to be aware of that. On top of that, his items are very important. Guys, if you buy mana boots on Necro, I'm gonna blow my brains out. You can buy it later on if you're going Greaves or something like this, or like Lotus Orb, but please do not buy it as an early item. Do not. It is so unbelievably bad for winning the laning stage. What does mana boots give you? You have a mana regen spell at some point. You don't need mana boots. You need mana boots if you never deny any creeps, if you don't buy a wand, and I don't know, are just dumb. At this point in the lane, we're going to see how Necrophos can start actually winning it. What he's going to do is basically bait the PA in. This is his goal. So PA was going to go for what? She wants this range creep, right? He understands that, so he's going to walk in and punish it. He's not going to try to contest the deny. He can't do more damage than the dagger. So instead, he actually just hits her. And that's how you start beating people. Instead of going for all the denies, you actually start baiting denies. You start baiting creeps. That's how you want to play Necro. You want to bait the creeps. However, don't chase. Please, do not chase. You win the lane by slowly chipping people down, and then a low committal kill is what you want. Low committal kills. You do not want to have to dive to tier 2 to kill someone as Necro. You want to bully them out of the lane, keep last hitting, and snowball with items. People get this backwards all the time. They play Necro, they start dominating the lane, and they're like, I can start diving you because I have infinite heals. And then they die, or they get rotated on by a Bat Rider. In this case, he was playing the lane normal. I think he was playing the lane fine. Gets ganked, not the end of the world. The next thing I want to note about Necrophos is that it is the best possible play, basically, to not leave your lane. We're 11 minutes here, we skip 4 minutes ahead, and all he has done is not make a single rotation, right? He simply cut the wave, right? He cut the wave, went behind the tier 1 tower, killed the wave, and let the 10-minute cart take the tower. And that's the best possible play you can really make on this hero. I know a lot of people might not see it like that. I want to look at his net worth. He's number 3. He's 0-2, but he's number 3rd on the net worth chart. Why is that? Because he buys stat-efficient items that allow him to contest the lane, he plays the lane extremely well, and most importantly, he doesn't make terrible rotations to get Reaper Scythe kills. People look at Reaper Scythe as like duel. It's like, I have to get this spell off to like build up the respawn timers. While that's good, you don't want to ruin your own game. Necro needs items, right? Your hero needs items. Can you play with a little bit of items? Yes. You can make the rotations that he's making here, right? But you need the small item. Just to be clear, I'm not saying you need a Radiance. You don't need a Pipe. You don't need a Lotus to fight 11 minutes in. But you definitely need, I really like the Phase Boots. I love having neutral item on this hero. It makes you quite a bit tankier. Whether or not it's Ocean Heart, Ironwood Tree, doesn't matter. Magic Wand, Embracer. These are the items you need. That's all I'm saying, right? And once you have these items, then you can start looking to make rotations. Now, this is a pretty advanced concept, right? Just to talk about it here. He's pushing the middle tower, number one, because he's already taken the bottom tower. Then after the bottom tower, typically mid-tier 1 is your next objective. This is like a general guideline. This is not always the case for Dota. I think it is a good thing to think about if you're dominating your game. Tier 1 in your lane, then into mid-tier 1. That's kind of a good rule of thumb. But most importantly here, if we look at his team comp, their goal this game, to a large extent, is to kind of siege out, right? They just want to siege towers pretty slow and control the map. They have a Pugna, a TA, Arc Warden, Chen, and a Necro, so it's really good if they can make the enemy team run into them. You do not want to run into this draft from the Dire, so them setting up at towers is like setting up a Great Wall. Mode Trump. And now with his items here, you're going to see him go for the bottom tier 2 tower, but they glyph it in a second here. Once they glyph it, the push is over. Just to be clear, guys, like, if you force out a tier 2 glyph, huge. It is legitimately huge. Tier 2 glyphs are so unbelievably broken that you can't even push. You can't even push. It does like a gajillion damage. No joke, if you get Dove under your tier 2 and you click glyph, you get an insta rampage because of it. All I'm saying is that try to bait out tier 2 glyphs, but then if they pop the glyph, it's gonna kill your creep wave and the push is over. You're just gonna waste time after that. So what he does is he instantly TPs top to get some farm. I like this play. He understands that, okay, as long as my team chills now, right? As long as I communicate to them that they need to chill, right? Or they just understand it because they're super high MMR players. I'm doing my job. Now he's going to go back to farming. He can contest the PA if he wants to, right? He doesn't want to overextend, and he's just going to keep farming. Getting to his next item. Please understand this balance of Dota. Just because you took a tower doesn't mean you have to go take another tower, right? I see people get in this bad mindset all the time where they kind of do one thing and keep doing it. It's like ganking for mid laners. While it's very good to gank, and you can play Ember and gank all game, you're going to see pros do that, they generally will kill 1 or 2 or 3 creep waves in between, especially lane creeps. And that's what we're seeing here. Pushes in a couple waves, gets it in, and then reconnects with his team if they want to start some push going, right? But it is not a complete push, push, push. I see people get this wrong mindset with Necro. You want to balance it. Please balance, balance, balance. Push in a wave, right? Shove a lane, and then look for an engagement. This is how you're going to properly snowball, especially with a death comp, team comp, right? They have Chen, Necro, Pugna. They're gonna death ball, right? But do not just walk up to towers and push them. That's the complete wrong strategy. Everyone does this in pubs. It barely ever works. It's almost always bad. You die, they glyph, and you can't push. Now in this case, they meet up bottom, they shove in top, they shove in mid to force rotations, force heroes, and now they can look for the tier 2 tower, right? He can start pushing it in and look to frontline with his team. However, he does not want to take a fight at this tier 2 tower. Just to be clear, guys, you notice how when the Bat Rider came in there, he backed? That's because top tier players do not want to fight under towers. Not only do they give regen, they give armor, and they do a ton of damage. Also, you have a vision disadvantage. It's just bad. So he backs up to make sure they can take a fight in an area where they can see things. Finally, the enemy Earthshaker approaches a little bit too far into the Arc Warden, so they can go on him and start an advantageous fight. On top of that, I love this Lotus Orb itemization. He understands that the only thing that really threatens him this game is really just sticky napalm. It's almost impossible for Necro to play against sticky napalm. It's just obnoxious. You can't move. You just insta-die if he gets like 5 stacks too. So I love the fact that he goes for the Lotus here, and it comes at the perfect time. Immediately gets the Lotus off, sees the Bat Rider coming in to kill him, goes for the Scythe, sees that the Bat Rider is gonna have to panic, pops the Lotus, gets the self lasso, secures the kill. Not only that, is able to reflect the dagger and actually stall out the PA, right, slowing her, and they secure another kill. Psych! Missed because of the blur, but no, really, that was such a good fight. Perfect timing from the Lotus Orb. And this is kind of how you snowball. You build efficient items that work for the game. Honestly, there's a lot of items you can buy on Necro. I've seen Mana Boots mech by a couple players, but typically they buy 2 bracers, wand, mech, and they're just super tanky. That's great. I'm a big fan of mech on Necro. I like hood on Necro. Got nerfed quite a bit though, so it's meh. But Lotus and mech, I think, are the 2 best choices from my personal observations. And I also want you guys to understand what his job is this game. If he goes for some like Radiance Rush, like a lot of players do on Necro, or like a Dagon, he can't fulfill what his role is this game. I want you to look at their team comp. Arc Warden, TA, Pugna, Chen. Who is frontlining out of those heroes? Absolutely no one. No one's frontlining. So what is his job as the Necro this game? Is it to go damage items? No! No! Not at all! Look at his team, they all do damage from the backline. They need someone who can walk in, and look at his fight here. His playstyle and items overlap. And this is how high MMR players do so well in a lot of fights. They buy proper items and they make their items synergize with their gameplays. So that's why he's able to go in here, right? Pop the Shroud, pop the Lotus, pop his Wand, pop his Q, right? Absolutely staying alive, tanking through everything, and securing all the kills for their team, winning the fight. And this is really where the game snowballs out of control because they lose the Aegis, the enemy team doesn't have it now, they're dead for a while, and they can once again take map control. But I thought this was such a cool fight, and with the Lotus timing, because it shows how the pros itemize, right? I hear a lot of you guys asking for itemization, guys. That is such a hard video to make. I will at some point, like, try to make some, like, I don't know, 30-minute video on itemization. It will take me forever, but it is so, I would say complicated because it depends on your heroes. But the best way I'm going to explain it real quick right now for everyone watching this video is look at your team, look at your hero, look at the enemy heroes, and ask yourself, to the best of your ability, a lot of you guys know a lot about Dota, so ask yourself, to the best of your ability, what is my job this game? What is my job? Do I have people I want to create space for? Do I need to stay in the back? Do I need to go in the front? Who am I jumping? Who do I need to counter? Do I need a Force Staff because I'm against a Clockwork or a Slark, etc.? Ask yourself the questions, try to do your best to line up your itemization and how you fight around that. It's a very difficult concept. There's really no secret around that. It's super difficult, but I wanted to give my best explanation I possibly could. And now just to end off the game, they're eventually going to take Megas just by slow sieging. They have a 13k lead because of their really good laning stage. The PA was not able to have too good of a game because he did such a good job in the laning stage of zoning her out and continuing to bully her, right? If he rotated out of her lane, PA would have gotten a pretty good timing, a BKB, and once PA has BKB, she actually can do a ton in this game. The Pugner can become a problem for her, and PA can't really kill Necro too easily either. However, PA could shred the Chen and the Arc Warden, which would make a massive problem for the Dire, but that doesn't end up being the case because of his good itemization and play. And you're going to see here, he's continuing the front line for the boys. Once again, he wants to take the damage. He's not worried about dying because of his items. He even has a plate mail just to deal with the PA right clicks that he's somewhat afraid of. And yeah, he's going to go in, get lassoed, and this is the power of Necro. Even though he's getting chain stun, he gets healed by his boys, clicks the Ghost Shroud, clicks the Q, clicks the Wand, full health, hits the Bat Rider with the Scythe, and the fight is absolutely over. Nothing the enemy team can do. And this is my favorite way of looking at Necrophos. You're the frontliner who takes all the damage, tanks all the spells, and lets your backline boys chill and kill the enemy team. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you've learned quite a bit about Necrophos and this style of Necrophos. If you did, or you have any questions, or you want to tell me about your Necrophos, leave a comment in the comment section down below. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. And hey guys, remember, before you end this video, in the link down below, I've been playing a lot of live games where I talk about my thoughts in real time in the middle of a Dota match. So if you want to get in the head of a pro player, click the link down below to the gameleap website. Super cheap right now, right? Like, and I'm doing this a ton. We all have time on our hands. I have time to make content. You guys probably have time to enjoy and learn Dota, get better at the game. So yeah, if that combo works for you, click the link down below and I'll see you there.